Hello and welcome YouTubers, my name is Search on Face and I'm back with a new video. This video is a very important video. This is a public service announcement. Now, the first thing you need to know about me before I start going into this subject is that I'm actually a massive movie buff. I love movies. Movies is something I take great enjoyment, not as just something I really like. I love movies. I love terrible movies. I love good movies. I love boring movies. I like fast. I like slow movies. I like action. I like drama. I don't even fucking watch rom-com and chick flicks, okay? I love movies. They are one of the best things in life to enjoy. And it's something you can take a lot of lessons from movies, and you can take a lot of, you know, you can just take a lot of life experiences from movies, especially when you get the true story movies. There's a lot you can learn from them. Now, I unfortunately have to admit there are a few movie series that I like which are terrible, and it's never good to admit when you like something terrible. And one of the movie series I like which is absolutely terrible, and I advise you to watch them, just not the last one. That's why the PSA, you'll probably notice in the title, Resident Evil The Final Chapter. Now, I've been a fan of the Resident Evil series for a long time. I've been a big fan. I never really enjoyed the games too much. You're probably going to say that doesn't make you a gamer because you don't like it, you suck, fuck you, in the comments. So, yeah, you can go ahead and put that, but I'm not a fan of the games, okay? I never really got much enjoyment of survival horror games. It's probably because Resident Evil, we have fucking Call of Duty Zombies, to be fair. But I'm not a fan of the games. So we're gonna stop talking about the games right now. We're gonna continue to talk about the movie series. So I watched Resident Evil, the first one, when it sort of came out. It wasn't far from coming out when I watched it. I was quite young at the time. It was scary back then for me, but when you're a young child, you can find anything scary. But yes, Resident Evil came out and I enjoyed it. Resident Evil Apocalypse came out, which I enjoyed much more, and I'd probably say is one of the best ones in the series. I like it over the first one. A lot of people disagree and say the first one is the best. For me, it'll always be Resident Evil Apocalypse. It just had something about it, especially with just Nemesis being a badass and killing everyone. Now, as they went through the movie series, they built up a sort of story, their own story they were building up. And as the later movies progressed, they started chucking out bits of the story, bits of their own lore they built up. So it doesn't follow the lore of Resident Evil, which doesn't bother me. But when the fact that it starts following its own lore and then it starts chucking out its own lore, it got a bit stressful. When you're a fan of a movie series and it's chucking out everything you like about the series, and it changes the story so much that it becomes very weak, a very weak story, and it comes to the point where you don't understand what's going on or what's happened because they changed it so much. Now, the main thing we're going to be talking about now is what they done, in the last one. Okay, so a lot of the characters I enjoyed watching, including the villains. Some of the villains were pretty badass. They completely shat on them in the last Resident Evil, and they didn't just shit on them. They put a sign and they put "Everyone please shit here," and they put Resident Evil underneath it, and pretty much everyone just shit. They just shit right on top of the movie, and it stunk, and you can smell it from a mile away. Now, you're probably wondering, what do I think was gone so wrong with the movie series? Why am I ranting about it on here? Now, what's gone wrong with the movie series? What has gone wrong? Oh god, you guys won't believe it. So, everything what I enjoyed about the Resident Evil movies was the action. The action, everyone loves action. You can't deny action is awesome. Action is one of the best parts about movies. If you're an action, lover, you love seeing any sort of action happen. When they decide to pull out the action, and yes, I'm going to say they pulled it out. There is action in Resident Evil, but they pulled it out. You know why they pulled it out? Because you cannot see action when you cannot see what the fuck is going on the screen. My god, have I never seen a movie so poorly directed. I mean, there's the fucking room. I mean, even that had poor direction, but you could actually see what's going on the fucking screen, rather than pretty much not being able to see anything at all. Now, the main thing about the Resident Evil series is zombies and the infection and that sort of stuff. You cannot see any zombies, okay? Anyone who can tell me that they actually saw what was happening in any of the sequences of Resident Evil, I'll be impressed. I actually got physically sick over the last Resident Evil. Resident Evil was so bad in changing its frames so fast. So fast. You could not see what's going on. You couldn't see whether the zombie was on top of Alice, if it was literally bent over and fucking her in the ass, or anything. You could not see anything that was going on. They would flick, the camera would shake so much. It was terrible. It was crap. It was the worst. I mean, whoever decided that that's what they should do as the camera angles, and if they should shake the camera around all the time, he should be fired. He should be fired. You know, there's never been a time where I've told anyone not to watch a movie. Okay? I like the most terrible of movies. I like shit movies. But this, I highly recommend you do not go and see. You don't watch it. Just don't even bother. If you're a fan of the series, don't. I love the series, okay? Unfortunately, I have to admit that I'm a terrible person. I love the Resident Evil series, but don't watch this one. Don't do it to yourself. It is not worth watching. It is one of the worst movies I have ever seen in my time. I'm not going to say she's one of them. I'm going to say it is the worst movie. The worst movie I have ever seen. Not just because they throw out the story, not just because you cannot see anything that's going on, but how wrong it is. How wrong they get the movie. And the characters, they kill off characters. It's like some of the characters didn't even exist from the last movie. It's like some of them did not exist. They just kicked them off the screen. And I mean, one of the biggest insults about this movie compared to the one before that, which it wasn't the best movie itself, but it was still a good action flick to watch with all the slow-mo fighting and I like cheesy 80s action movies. So that's I like my cheesy shit. I'm gonna go ahead and say I love all that sort of slow-mo action and stuff. I'm terrible when it comes to movies. But one of the worst things they've done was when they did introduce a good character in the past two, a guy known as Albert Wesker, and they made him a total badass. They kill him by breaking his ankle. His ankle breaks and he dies. They drop a door on his ankle. He dies. Like that. The building blows up and there's no way of him coming back. They make him a bitch. They literally, they had him on a chain with a collar. They might as well just fucking had a bone in front of him. Like when you see in like the movies on a stick and a bit of string on and make someone chase after and they use him as like sort of their bitch. That's how it went. They made Albert Wesker a bitch. The coolest character in the series as a bad guy, a bitch. Apart from Nemesis, obviously. Everyone loved Nemesis. Even they sort of turned him to a bitch at one point as well. They made him friendly with Alice, which was kind of weird. Yes. So yeah, it's a terrible, terrible movie. The writing was bad. There was the scene what I'm now going to talk about is the worst offence in a movie series that you could think of. Really, really, really worst offence. So we were talking about the one beforehand, and the one beforehand showed this really, really massive battle at the end. It was during the Red Queen. The Red Queen wants to destroy all life on Earth. And basically there was this big, there's a sign of this big battle was about to happen. And, well, we didn't get to see any of the fucking battle. And not just any of the fucking battle. The people who died about main characters who you've been following for the past two movies were dead. They were gone. Okay? Some of them even fucking 4 movies, okay? 3 or 4 movies. And they were just gone. They were dead. They didn't make a mention that they were dead. They just made a presumption that everyone was dead. And all it was, the fact is, after the battle, there wasn't even any fucking zombies around. That was the worst part of it. Alice just wakes up in this fucking desert area. There's no zombies around or anything. It is terrible. The movie is terrible. I would never recommend anyone watching the movie ever at any point. Do not watch it. It's a terrible film. terrible, terrible film. Especially when you advertise a massive battle at the end of your last film, and you don't get to see the battle. You know, it might have gone up in score. You know, it might have said, you know, it was worth a watch because of the massive battle at the beginning. You know, but I can't even say that. You know, I can't even say there's any point where you can actually see anything that happens in the battles, and I mean that as a serious point. There's not, at one point you cannot see anything that is going on. It's terrible. And I do not wish anyone to watch it. I really don't. Not even my worst enemies. I would never wish my worst enemies to watch these film series. Okay, not the film series, but the last one. But I don't know, because it kind of ruins it now. It kind of ruins the whole film series. Because you want to see what happens in a big battle, and when you get to that, you know, the one before the last one, you want to know what happens, you can't. Because it's just fucking shit. And it turns out that Alice is a fucking clone. By the way, there are spoilers here. Yes. It turns out that Alice has been a fucking clone the whole time. And that the Red Queen is also Alice. And the real Alice is still alive, but she's dying and she's an old lady because she's got some sort of disease. Which makes her age really quickly. So she's 25, but she looks about 1,000,000 years old. And yeah, it's the films were terrible. Well, not the films, but okay, they were terrible. But the latest edition was not even worth watching. Do not watch it. I can't say to anyone to watch it at all. I cannot state that anymore. I know I keep repeating myself here, but that's a public service announcement. If you don't want to get sick, it literally will physically make you sick. I had to have some ibuprofen because I felt you know, I felt so sick. I had such a headache after watching the film. It was that bad. So yeah, do not watch the film. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. I hope you enjoy the videos that I make and the content I create. It's been a very long time since I made anything. And do not watch the latest Resident Evil. That is my advice. Well, I'll see you guys in the next video.